Hare Krishna, Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya, Jaya Nityananda, Jaya Advaita Chandra, Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda, Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya, Jaya Nityananda, Jaya Advaita Chandra, Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda, Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya, Jaya Nityananda, Jaya Advaita Chandra, Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. We continue reading from Caitaniya Caritamita. We are on Adi Leela, chapter 10. We have been reading to the purport of text 94 by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. We heard yesterday about Rup, Sanatan and Anupam, and now we are going to continue. We're continuing to read about Rup, Sanatan and Anupam in the year 1436, Shakabda, that is AD 1514. AD 1514 as we according to the Western calendar, as we calculate, so that's about 500 or some years ago, the youngest brother, Anupam, died and went back home, back to Godhead. He went to the abode in the spiritual sky where Sri Ramachandra is situated. So Anupam, he died at a younger age. He was the youngest brother. And where did he go? He went to Vaikuntha. In Vaikuntha, there are many, many planets. And in each planet, there is a form of Lord Vishnu, which is ruling the planet. And so where is Anupam going? He's going where Lord Ramachandra is. And the highest planet in the spiritual world, in the Vaikuntha sky, is Golok Vrindavan, where Krishna, Shamsundar Krishna, he personally lives there. At Jagannath Puri, Sri Rupa Goswami informed Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu of this incident. Vallabh was a great devotee of Sri Ramchandra. Therefore, he could not seriously consider the worship of Radha Govinda according to the instructions of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Yet, he directly accepted Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu as an incarnation of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Ramachandra. So, Anupam, Vallabh, he was devoted to Lord Ramachandra. He couldn't accept, he was not able to change his devotion to Radha Govinda. And that's all right. That's okay, because Lord Ramachandra, he is the Lord also. He's the same Lord. Yeah. And Anupam, he understood that this is the same Lord. Lord Chaitanya is my same Lord Ramachandra. He's just come now as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So he went to the Vaikuntha sky to associate with Lord Ramachandra. In the Bhakti Ratnakar, there is a following statement. Vallabh was given the name Anupam by Sri Gaura Sundar, but he was always absorbed in the devotional service of Lord Ramachandra. He did not know anyone but Sri Ramachandra, but he knew that Chaitanya Gosai was the same Lord Ramachandra. So Anupam's Ishtadev was Lord Ramachandra. He completely understood the position of Lord Chaitanya. Lord Chaitanya is the Lord himself. And so he's understanding, oh, my Lord Ramachandra is now come in this form as Lord Chaitanya. In the Gaur Ganadesh Dipika 180, Sri Rupa Goswami is described to be the gopi named Sri Rupa Manjari. So Rupa Goswami, he's, we are followers of Rupa Goswami. We are called Rupanugas. We are following his instructions, engaging in devotional service. So what is Rupa Goswami's identity? I'm sorry, in the spiritual world. Rupa Goswami in the spiritual world in Golok Vrindavan is Rupa Manjari, a very, very dear gopi, a very dear Manjari. In the Bhakti Ratnakar, there is a list of the books Sri Rupa Goswami compiled. Of all his books, the following 16 are very popular among Vaishnavas. So Rupa Goswami was instructed by Lord Chaitanya to write this Bhakti Shastras. He was specifically empowered by Lord Chaitanya to give us this Bhakti Shastras. So the 16 books which are very popular among Vaishnavas, well, there are more, but there are 16 which are popular among Vaishnavas. Ham Saduta, Uddhava Sandesh, Krishna Janma Tithi Vidhi, Radha Krishna Ganodesh Deepika, Brahat, major, and Laghu, minor. Stavamala, Vidgada Madhav, Lalita Madhav, Dana Keli Kaumudi, Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu. This is the most celebrated book by Sri Rupa Goswami. This is the book that Srila Prabhupada has translated as Nectar of Devotion. That's what we are reading, Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu. Ujjwala Nilamani, Akhyata Chandrika, Mathura Mahima, Padyavali, Nataka Chandrika, and Laghu Bhagavatamrita. Sri Rupa Goswami gave up all family connections, joined the renounced order of life, and divided his money, giving 50% to the Brahmanas and Vaishnavas, and 25% to his Kutum family members, and keeping 25% for personal emergencies. So Rupa Goswami, when he retired, he showed how an ideal householder retires. So he's retired, he's given up the government service, he's going to go to Vrindavan, and he had a lot of wealth. He really had a lot of wealth. What did he do with the wealth? So now he's retired, right? So 50% he gave it to the Vaishnavas and the Brahmanas. Then what does he do with the balance 50? He gave 25 to his family. He had to keep his family happy. He gave 25% to them, and 25% he kept in case some emergency comes up. He kept it for that, some reserve for personal emergency. He met Haridas Thakur in Jagannath Puri, where he also met Lord Chaitanya and his other associates. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu used to praise the handwriting of Rupa Goswami. Srila Rupa Goswami could compose verses according to the desires of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And by his direction, he wrote 2 books named Lalita Madhav and Vidgada Madhav. Vidagda Madhav. Vidagda Madhav. So Rupa Goswami, his handwriting was very beautiful. We just read the names of 16 books, and he has written much more books. Now, 500 years ago, there was no laptops on which we could just type. If we have to write a book now, it can be relatively faster. You can just type on the computer. But 500 years ago, there was no computers. There was not even paper. They were writing on palm leaves, specially prepared palm leaves. Everything had to be handwritten. And Lord Chaitanya was appreciating the handwriting of Rupa Goswami. And Rupa Goswami, he could compose verses according to the desire of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Rupa Goswami was specifically empowered for this purpose by Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And under Lord Chaitanya's direction, he's written this Lalita Madhav and Vidagda Madhav. Lord Chaitanya desired the 2 brothers Sanatan Goswami and Rupa Goswami to publish many books in support of the Vaishnava religion. When Sanatan Goswami met Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the Lord advised him also to go to Vrindavan. So it was Lord Chaitanya's desire that the Rupa Goswami, Sanatan Goswami, they write all these bhakti shastras, all pertaining to devotional service, pastimes of the Lord. They are very, very, very enriched books. Sri Sanatan Goswami is described in the Gaur Ganodesh Tipika 181. So who is Sanatan Goswami in Golok Vrindavan? He's called Lavanga Manjari, or sometimes he's called Rati Manjari. So we can see that these Goswamis, they are not ordinary personalities. They're coming from the spiritual world, Golok Vrindavan. Rupa Goswami is Rupa Manjari, Sanatan Goswami is sometimes called as Rati Manjari or Lavanga Manjari. They're personal associates of the Lord. That's the reason they are empowered to speak about the Lord. In the Bhakti Ratnakar, it is stated that his spiritual master, Vidyavachaspati, sometimes stayed in the village of Ramakeli, and Sanatan Goswami studied all the Vedic literatures from him. He was so devoted to his spiritual master that this cannot be described. So the spiritual master of Sanatan Goswami is Vidyavachaspati, and Sanatan Goswami studied the literatures under the guidance of Vidyavachaspati. And it is said that he was so devoted to his spiritual master that there's not words enough to describe his devotion to Vidyavachaspati. According to the Vedic system, if someone sees a Muslim, he must perform rituals to atone for the meeting. Sanatan Goswami, always associated with Muslim kings, not giving much attention to the Vedic injunctions. He used to visit the houses of Muslim kings, and thus he considered himself to have been converted into a Muslim. He was therefore always very humble and meek. So in Vedic times, when the society was, um, following the Vedic system of Varnashram, at that time, even if someone would see a Muslim at that time, one had to, immediately do some purificatory thing. Now, Sanatan Goswami coming in the line of great Brahmanas, we heard that he's coming in the line of Bhrigu Muni, such a great family, and he is associating freely with the Muslims. He had taken up occupation in the Muslim government. And so he was thinking, okay, now I've already become a Muslim, now I'm no more a Brahmana. And he was always humble and meek, was not proud. When Sanatana Goswami presented himself before Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he said, I'm always in association with lower class people, and my behavior is therefore very abominable. So although Sanatana Goswami, he's a Brahmana of the highest class, he's a Vaishnava, he's a pure devotee of the Lord. But out of his humility, he's telling the Lord, I don't know how to act. I don't know how to behave properly because I'm associating with people who don't know how to behave properly. So I'm also like that. you know, he actually belonged to a respectable Brahmana family, but because he considered his behavior to be abominable, he did not try to place himself among the Brahmanas, but always remained among people of the lower castes. So, such a great personality, Sanatan Goswami, coming in family of great Brahmanas, but he's considering himself, no, I'm a fallen soul, I'm not good association. And so he wouldn't try to project himself or associate with the Brahmanas at that time. He would always keep himself uh, showing that showing his humility. He wrote the Hari Bhakti Vilas and Vaishnav Toshani, which is a commentary on the 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. So Sanatan Goswami has written Hari Bhakti Vilas. Hari Bhakti Vilas is all about Vaishnav etiquette. He wrote that book. He was specifically empowered by Lord Chaitanya to write it. And Vaishnav Toshani is his commentary on the 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. In the year 1476, Shakabda AD 1554, he completed the Brihad Vaishnav Toshani commentary on Srimad Bhagavatam. So he's written Vaishnav Toshani, which is commentary on the 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, and he's also written a commentary on the entire Bhagavatam, which is called Brihad Vaishnav Toshani. In the year 1504, Shakabd AD 1582, Srila Jiva Goswami published an edited version of the Brihad Vaishnav Toshani named Lagu Toshani. So Srila Jiva Goswami, their nephew, a great, great scholar, he did some editing to Brihad Vaishnav Toshani and he published it as Lagu Toshani. These are the commentaries that are written by Sanatan Goswami. We'll continue reading tomorrow. Does anyone have any questions or comments to whatever we read today? So thank you so much for listening and joining in. Chaitanya Charitamrita ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki jai, Hare Krishna.